In part 1, I showed how to connect and set up an ESP8266 module and how to prepare the hardware so that you can upload Arduino Sketches or other programs to it. In this part 2, I'm going to complete that process with the last couple of connections and get the Arduino environment to communicate with the module. I'll begin by fully connecting the ESP8266 to a PC using a USB to serial adapter, otherwise known as a breakout board. I'm going to assume for now that power for both boards is going to come from the USB breakout board. In a more complete project there may be an external power source, but while I'm programming the ESP8266, this is the most convenient way to do it. It's really important to check that the jumper on the USB serial board is set for 3.3 volt operation. Power can then be taken from the USB serial board to the ESP8266, connecting ground to ground and 3.3 volts to VCC on the module. On my breadboard, I've connected these to the power lines, which are common to all of the components except the temperature sensor, which needs 5 volts. The only other two connections needed are to carry the serial data between the boards. Receive goes to transmit, and transmit goes to receive. I'm assuming here that you have watched part 1 and have prepared the basic connections, including either manual or automatic reset. Having completed the power and data connections, I've now plugged in a USB cable between the serial USB board and the PC. In the device manager on Windows, it's appeared as COM14, so I know it's ready to communicate. Now let's look at how to get the Arduino software ready to use. Luckily for those of us using these modules, a quick and easy route to using the Arduino IDE has been made available on Github on the ESP8266/Arduino pages. This is a great resource. I'll include a link to this in the video description. To install the ESP8266 libraries on your system, open your Arduino IDE and choose Preferences from the File menu. Where it says Additional Board Manager URLs, copy and paste this link, which I'll put in the video description. And you can also find it in our website ESP8266 article at q26.co.uk. Then click OK, and next go to the Tools menu and find Board and then Board Manager, and scroll down or search to find ESP8266. Check you've found the latest version and then click Install. It may take a while, and when everything's finished installing, you should find a variety of options for ESP8266 in the Arduino board menu. The module that we stock while I'm making this video is the ESP12F, which has a larger flash memory and some increased functionality over some other versions. So the first step I'll take is to choose the correct COM port and then the board, either ESPeno, ESP12 module, or generic ESP8266 module. I then need to check a couple more options. Connection speed will be 115/200 and reset mode depends on the method you're using. Choose CK for manual reset or Node MCU for automatic reset. And if you're not sure about either of these, full details are given in part 1 of this ESP8266 guide on our YouTube channel. The setup is now in place to upload an Arduino sketch. It's a good idea to try something simple first, such as a blink sketch, to make sure data transfer is working and to check the functionality of your ESP in-out pins. For testing, I've set up a breadboard with an LED connected to each digital output and uploaded a sketch which turns them all on or off in a sequence. For a full list of pin connections, take a look at the ESP8266 article on our website, which includes schematics and a guide to the reset connections. Now let's look at connecting with Wi-Fi and example sketches. Arduino libraries generally have an examples folder with sample sketches to use and adapt for your own projects. Wi-Fi scan is a good one to try first with this module. When using sample code, it's a good idea to check the serial begin instruction. It probably needs to be changed to 9600, and I've found that other baud rates in sketches I've downloaded have stopped everything working. Upload the Wi-Fi scan sketch and open the serial monitor, and you'll see that it has found and identified your Wi-Fi network and maybe some others within range. There are other examples in the ESP library that show you how to send web-based information using your Wi-Fi network, and I've used this functionality to make my prototype tortoise hibernation monitor, which will tell me about temperature and humidity in the winter. I hope this video has been useful to you, and if it has, please give us a like. If you'd like to see more of our videos, please subscribe to our Q26 channel. Perhaps you'd like to leave a comment. We'd love to hear what you think, if you have any extra information or suggestions, or to find out about how you use the technology we try out here. Watch out for part 3 about the ESP8266, and thanks for watching.